I did invite an audience of people. Nonetheless,
You
we
don't?
made it back. We are back. It's been a long month. It has been about a month, a little bit over a month, but nonetheless, we are
Mm-hmm.
so sorry for the break. The break is my fault. The break is 100% my fault. But in all other news, I did move to Dallas. So had to figure out a bunch of things and move some things around. But it's a good move. We are doing good things. A lot has happened over the last month as it relates to the world of boxing. Some things I'm pretty sure we should have. We saw us transpire. We saw it go on. Shoot, where do we start?
Take your pick.
Man, because really, I mean, we had the homecoming of Keyshawn. I think that might have been the biggest event of the past month that has really took waves. Keyshawn showed some things where other fighters, rightfully so, would not have taken the fight, and he still took the fight. And not only did he take the fight, he dominated the fight significantly against a man, an Argentinian, who had never been down or none of that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he did that, bro. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I say it's between him and probably Katie Taylor and Serrano
We
for
had
the
them.
biggest.
That was huge because the world got a chance to see women's boxing on a major scale at one time.
Mm-hmm.
I am proud of that. I am very proud that Katie and Amanda had the opportunity um, to display their skills, their heart, their talent, their dedication for women's boxing over the years. Especially, and I say dedication more than anything because the money is not in women's boxing in the same way it is in men's boxing. That takes
Nope.
pure love and dedication for them to do.
I agree.
I still think Amanda won. I don't care what nobody say. Amanda won that fight. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I can give Katie the first one for sure, but God dog it, Amanda won.
Well, a lot of people say it.
A lot of people say I like when you use phrases like that. That means boy you stupid, and that's cool though. That's cool though. It was a subjective fight, but it was so much going on at one time. Man,
Yeah, it was good though.
it was man. What else could we have possibly missed? Um, I'm trying to think. We've watched so much boxing since then. We had the OTX fights. Brandon Adams. They took that fight from him, unfortunately. Uh, Man, they took that fight from him that night. That was really bad. I hate that for him. Brandon's such a skilled fighter, dedicated fighter. Um, and did
Yeah,
that. Shoot. But I mean, today we got the rematch of Navarrate and Valdez part two here in Phoenix. This is where I'm at currently on location. Um, well, here we go. Another 12, round
yeah.
13.
We'll see. I think this is pretty much, for me at least, it's going to be the same question as last time. At what range can Valdez get to without getting hit? Or what range can he get to comfortably and throw shots and not take a lot of shots? And with the long arms that he's going to be going up against and his shorter frame,
You know,
I don't know.
he got a better little understanding of it now. It's one thing to train for some things, but once you get in the ring with it, you kind of download a lot of different information. So
Mm,
now I guess we've never really had the pleasure of watching Eddie Reynoso in a rematch, actually. Um, so now we can see um, what Oscar got for a rematch as far as like he brought up something as it was per interviews probably leading up to this fight today, where he was like, "Man, I got a rematch with Navarrate because I felt like I missed a step here and there with versus Shakur." He said, "I don't care what I did, and there was
yeah,
nothing I could do." So the fact that he feels that confident, which that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you do know, like, man, I know if I would have did this a little bit better, I could do this. To the point, like I said, we haven't seen Eddie Reynoso in the rematch because either Canelo has significantly won or he just lost the Bivol. That's just what it was. We haven't seen the rematch, so we get a chance to see what adjustments really can be made from both of the guys,
Mm-hmm.
from fighter and trainer. What adjustments can be made. So I'm looking for Valdez to take advantage of the awkwardness. Where in Navarrate's previous rematch, and I say that with Dog Bay, about what was it, about 5 years ago, something like this, 5, 6 years ago, where Navarrate came on the scene. Um, there was nothing Dog Bay could do against it. You know what I'm saying? And that was at what 122, I think. I think that fight was at 122. And
So to take it back a little bit, boxing is not really any different than per se any other sport. Um, if you're playing a team a second time or you get a rematch, if there's adjustments, or if you're the fighter, maybe the fighter feels like I don't need to do anything different. This dude can't stop what I do best. Is that a mistake or is that correct? And if you lost, do you feel like you just had an off training camp and you don't need to do anything different? Or do you make big adjustments? Can you maintain those adjustments when you get in a firefight? Do you panic and go back to what you usually did? Like,
mm,
it's a lot of different
it's different.
things that can be done.
It is a lot of different angles, and there's a lot of different psychologies that goes into it for a rematch. Um, because in the rematch, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go do the same thing I did for the first 2 to 3 rounds, and then I'm gonna switch the whole. Get the fighter comfortable, you get your opponent comfortable. I'm gonna do the same thing. Then I'm gonna switch up a whole different game plan to make him outthink me again. Like you said, it really is the sport of chess and not checkers. Um, because instantly the coach is gonna say, "Hey man, he's doing the same thing." Oh, the fighter's gonna say, "Hey, hey, hey, hey." I'm sorry, the fighter's gonna say, "He doing the same thing. He doing the same thing." But that's when the coach got to be like, "Hey, bro, he just trying to lure you in." That's
Hmm.
all it is. He's trying to lure you into something, get you comfortable thinking that this is the same thing, and it's not. So once he gets that, and if that does happen, especially if Navarrate's in, I don't know if Navarrate is going to get a chance to make really. I don't know if he's going to make any adjustments. That leaping left uppercut hook that he throws, we all know it's coming, but ain't nobody really stopping it. So what adjustment do you think Navarrate can make here to make the fight easier? Let's go over it. What adjustments do you think he can make the fight easier for him first?
I don't I
Yeah,
don't think
it's
he's gonna
tough.
make any.
I don't
Like
think so either.
I think he's comfortable with the fighter he is, and his game plan is his game plan. His style is his style. I don't think he's gonna really change anything about what
I
he
do
does.
think he takes it personal. I do think this. I think he takes it a little bit more personal this time. And I say that because he knows he won against Valdez the first time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But, we also have the interviews, stuff like that with Julio Cesar, his idol, the great
Hmm.
Chavez, kind of like backing Valdez in front of his face, kind of like, oh, yeah, we countrymen, like, yeah, I'm Team Mexico, but you picking him over me. All right, I'm gonna show you how I got here like this.
And
Um,
for those that don't know, his opinion counts in the Hispanic
that
Mexico community.
until he
It,
until
it,
Julio
and don't get
leaves
me
this earth,
wrong, his opinion counts in boxing as general, but
it,
in the Hispanic and in the Mexican community, if he
until he
says
leaves this
something,
earth, he is still king. It does not matter.
yep.
It does not matter until he leaves this earth. He is king. He had Julio at the table with him. They had Marquez at the table with him. Morales at the table. Rafael Marquez. Man, they had some hitters at the table, and he had to really sit in front of them, and they was like, "Hey, who y'all pick?" He was like, "So who y'all picking, Valdez or Vaquero?" He was like, Team Mexico. Nah, nah, nah. Y'all need to stand on that." So I can see him coming out here and saying, "You know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and try to lay him flat tonight." Somebody
And
got to if he retired, because it's true. Let's call it straight. Valdez might be looking at retirement at this point. I think this is his third weight class anyway.
mm,
Third or fourth. He's a little guy, legitimately. Um, If he loses tonight, he can go home a family man and be happy with the career that he's accomplished for sure.
Hmm.
Not
Especially
losing and
depending on the punishment, if
correct.
the
Not
amount of
losing until
punishment.
you got
Like,
to Shakur is not a bad thing. Both of y'all were just good prime. Shakur was just it's just for lack of better term special. Um to his own admittance, Shakur is just that bad for sure.
hmm
Um Now Valdez is in the adjustments are definitely choose a space that you're gonna fight at. Having that high guard that he likes to continue to have, I think that was actually his detriment. I get being the shorter fighter in the fight, but having that high guard that he had could have been as part of his detriment to that fight. And I say that because when you have that, you're looking for it so tight up here, you're gonna miss a lot of things or counters that you could come back with. He's gonna have to choose a hand placement and distance for him to fight it to get his combination punches out and be comfortable inside.
especially at the height of his opponent, since his opponent is so much taller than him, if he's stuck in that high guard from a longer distance, like he's literally there's points in the last fight where he was just getting picked off with long.
Correct.
So it's gonna
Correct.
be it's gonna be a challenge. A
Yeah, he
challenge for
gotta he's gonna have to choose. Um, he's gonna have to choose somewhere to be, and I think that could be his easy adjustment where he could only stay half a step. Hmm. Choose a range out of place, but a half a step out of place with that. And I say that because that gives you the ability to have your hands just a tad bit lower. And if you are 1.5 steps away, you could take the rest of that 4 step and you'll be just a half in a sense. And then your
hmm
arms can do the rest of the reaching from that point, and then that's where your counter punches and things can come back at. The punches are gonna be awkward. So you know where you gotta hold your hand at, but there's no point in holding it up here. You ain't got to really necessarily worry about him going to the body because if you keep that distance away, he has to lunge and reach in. And if he does lunge and reach in, you got him. You're the short man. You got the space into it. But if
Yep.
you out here the whole time, or even up here, you're gonna miss a lot of it, and then you're gonna end up coincidentally opening yourself up all the way inside because you're trying to force his hand all the way down instead of just being comfortable and then turning it up and turning it up on the inside while you're right there. So I think those are adjustments that Eddie Reynoso might have made for Valdez as Canelo usually fights the bigger, taller opponents.
Mhm.
So I think we'll see a little bit more of that.
Looking forward to it. I didn't know they fight
Absolutely.
early. I looked it
So,
up. They fight kind of early.
yeah, well, I think what time is it here? It is 11 o'clock here. The first I gotta go pick up credentials at 3. So the first fight is at 3:30. Like it ain't even a game. So I will be there from 3:30 until I think they said the 9:30, I think the fights are.
Hmm.
9:30, y'all time? Man, I'm gonna be there all day like a work shift. Some other news in boxing while we're here, and I think it's about time we go ahead and call um Javante Davis to the front. I think these are things that some of the things we're going to bring up. I think these are things that me and you have constantly discussed as it relates to Javante, as it relates to who he is as a fighter, and not to say who he is as a person, but who he is as a fighter. And now we're looking at it, and I think now that people are seeing kind of things, instead of calling us haters, they say, well, man, it's kind of weird. And I want to refer to the comments of Javante saying, what has Shakur done in boxing? Shakur has accomplished nothing in boxing. But you're fighting a man in Lon Roach who's literally probably only accomplished a third. Actually, I can't even say a third of what Shakur is boxing. I gotta say a little less than I say probably about a quarter. And I say that because Lamont Roach is also not a Olympic silver medalist. Lamont Roach is not undefeated. Lamont Roach is not a 3 division world champion. Lamont Roach has not beaten a former 3 division world champion, as in Shakur beating Valdez, as in or beating a real champion. Shakur beat the man who beat Lamont Roach and Jamel Herring. Be a man. Uh, you know, Javante doesn't want to fight. That's just kind of simple as it is. Unless he proves us wrong, but unless he proves us wrong later down the line, and here we are right now. But all I can see right now is him saying, "Oh, I ain't no reason for me to fight him." Him also talking about retiring. I've got nothing. He is what he is, and he's not. Either he's just not confident, or he just wants to keep the allure forever.
It's between him and his team. Like they go off the Floyd Mayweather um, game plan, which
Mm-hmm.
is keep your O no matter what.
But see, it
So
doesn't work in this time frame though, because they're more deep. Like I've always told you, or how I explain it is, they're the same monsters just like you around here. The monsters go about attacking different ways, but they are a monster just like you.
so I think Tank is he's skillful. He doesn't get enough credit for the skills he actually
For
has.
sure,
He feels like showcasing. But
for sure.
my problem is he rarely fights in his own weight class. Like so the issue you end up running into with the way him and his team carries business is when the fans want you to fight a certain fighter, they downplay that fighter. And
Right.
they'll say this fighter hasn't done this and that, or he not on my level, or he don't make this much money, or he not a draw, or he a B-side, blah blah blah. It's like at some point in time, if you're the man, everybody you fight is gonna be quote unquote beneath you. So
Literally,
what difference does it make?
Shakur did a space the other day with a guy on Twitter, Hassan. And he kept bringing people up to ask him questions, and Shakur answered a lot of the questions perfectly. And one of the ones is when people ask him, this was, I think it was the perfect reply because it was so truthful and couldn't nobody say nothing. Okay, y'all want me to fight Tank, but y'all say Tank is the A side. Don't the A side got to send the B side the contract to agree to fight? And that right there is just, that's how it go. That lets me know everything. Well, it always. I think me and you have said that to each other. Hey, y'all say he the A side. The A side got to send the contract. Canelo calls who he want to call for the contract, and they answer the call. They don't offer him nothing. He calls them. And so, if this is the same model y'all running with, then y'all got to offer Shakur something. You know, um,
The
you got to offer Devin something. You got to offer Tiafimo. Tank say he gonna slap Tiafimo when he see him. Okay, well, let's get to it. You got the other monsters. All of y'all are right here, bro. Let's go ahead and knock it out.
so the problem that we're running into, and the reason why it looks different now is because you got my man man what is his official title, the Saudi Arabian
Oh, Turkey.
yeah.
His Excellency.
So
He is the ambassador of entertainment for Saudi. Whatever it is.
so
Either way,
the
he's in charge of all that money that the entertainment fund got.
right. So the problem we running into is he paying so much, fighters not turning down fights that they would turn down. So you have a clash of him trying to bring people the fights that everybody wants versus
I,
the fighters and their teams trying to stall them because they want to turn boxing into a longevity sport. And this is where you get prospects that are damn near 30
mm-hmm.
versus back in the day in boxing, you had Floyd and Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. These guys are fighting for championships by no later than 22.
Yeah, yeah. At max 25. At
Because
max
you weren't
25.
you weren't concerned about losing and then ruining a brand, and one loss is just
There was
not
there was no there was no such thing as taking a loss and ruining your brand
right.
because you
So
went out there and you tried to prove yourself to the world.
so that's the hold up on a lot of these fights when you talk about Tank fighting Shakur, fighting Keyshawn, fighting a T.O., any of these fighters that we want to see him fight, like you're running into brands and managers and teams that are
Yeah, it's too many.
calling
It's too many.
him.
It's too many outside ears.
It,
To
that
me,
that's one of the biggest problems, and the other biggest problem is the activity rate. You have fighters that only fight one time every 18 months versus what it used to be. 18 months is generous now. It's more like 22 months
they tripping. More of the
versus
story, they tripping.
is
And
fight.
you know what another issue is, and I've always thought about this, and it's understood, and I see why George didn't let me go spar certain people or potential people after a while. In the beginning, well, it was after a while. I see why he didn't let me do that, and it was because if you go out there and sparring is supposed to be for work, right? Sparring is for your practice. Practice. You've been in sparring sessions with us where, hey, you only gonna be in this, do this for this moment. You're gonna stay in this circle defensively right here. You're not throwing a bunch, or you're gonna only use your right hand today. You're gonna only use your left hand today, right? That's what
Mm,
sparring is. People have a misconception of what sparring truly is. Uh,
that's why it's dumb for
as
all
it
these videos to leak. Makes no
correct. That's why I hate that because, bro, come on, man. But I also we know Javante Tank. No, sorry, we know Shakur was in a camp with Javante once before. And what I have to understand now from this point to the reason why he would not fight Shakur. Shakur must have hurt his feelings at one point in that camp. Because we hear about all the time, oh, Javante knocking out these people in sparring, doing this and sparring, blah, blah, blah. It ain't never came that way in Shakur. It's always, he know what I did, and Shakur just kind of smirk it off like, all right. If you did that, come do it again, and like come do it in the fight. Then like come do it,
Yep,
that's the truth. You said you did this, then come do it in the fight.
yep. It's it get annoying because
It is.
boxing is a great sport, but the way the business is being done now, like the business model is not sustainable. That's why it's been all these years of boxing is dead and blah blah blah. Is mostly because throughout the
Y'all not fighting.
network issues and all that, it's the work rate, it's the
Right.
fight rate. So the example would be like this: Terrence Crawford and Spence fought. When was that?
22. Yeah.
22. So
July. Yeah, July 22. Something
so
like
we're
that.
coming up on.
Or was it last year? I can't remember. Either way.
No, because Bud fought 154 a few months ago, and he took
That's right.
almost a year.
You're right.
So
You're right. You're right.
it's been like let's say it's been 16 months.
Yep.
If we say it's been 16 months, it means it's been 16 months since Spence lost, right? The one of the problems is perception. So we both like Spence, but if you're looking at it from a broad point of view, Spence has been a loser for 16 months now. He has not avenged his loss. He has
That's a good point. It's a good point. Good point.
now the public and everybody is looking at. Last time I remember seeing this guy, he lost and he got beat up. Back in the day, a fighter lose in January, he's back in the ring by August or September.
At long as August, because
And
he
if
might be in there by May.
right, he's back.
He lose in January. Might be back in there by May.
Right. He's back in there, and now if he wins, he technically erased a
That's
lot
it.
of
You take
what
it out of
people remember.
people's heads.
So now the last thing I remembered is, yeah, I think he lost a few months ago, but he just beat this one dude down. Like that don't happen anymore.
They don't have. Yep. They
So
don't know how to erase.
you have these guys that just lose, and then since everybody wants to fight once every 18 months now,
Man,
that's
Roberto Duran got flatlined by Tommy Hearns and was back in the ring 3 months later. He erased all of that idea right out the window. And then went and fought Marvin Hagler the 15 rounds, fam. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? You know, please, dog. That they don't I hate that they don't take that approach much anymore. Um One thing I wanted to touch on that was funny that did happen. Carmel Moten missing weight, 15 pounds over,
Oh
and
no,
trying to lie. And trying to lie and say the commission was like, then he came back and apologized. Yeah, you better apologize, boy.
bro! I thought it was like a bot account. When I first read that, I'm like, what? No, nobody missed weight by that much.
It don't seem real. 15 pounds?
Do y'all understand how bad that is? He basically
15
just showed up.
pounds?
He just showed up. Like you can't do any prep for a fight and then be do scale work
You
and
could
monitor
have you could
your
have said anything else. You could have said something. But what you don't never do is blame the commission, dog. Cause you blame one commission, they on your neck, and they ain't gonna say, "Hey, bro, you defrauding us, you defaming." Hey, bro, don't go like that. You can't never talk bad about a commission. Now, I've had to explain to people like how commissions in the states really work, especially some of my UK people. Uh, your blood work and all that stuff is sent in from a doctor to send to the commission, and all of that. So there's no way that your blood work can gonna get lost because all you gotta do is call the doctor's office and say, "Hey," or we use what's the name? Why did I just forget the name of the people that take the blood?
Vada.
No, 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 no. Here in Texas, they do your blood work and stuff like that for the hospital. I just forgot their name. The Green and White Company. God dog it.
Them people. Yeah.
Them people. Um, you can call them and say, "Hey, can you send another copy of my blood work to Easy?" There's no such thing as losing paperwork for blood work. There's no such thing. Not when it's coming directly from them, from the labs, and then going to the doctor, and the doctor's office and then directly to the commission. And now the commission also deals directly with the promoters. So if there was any issues going on with anything, the promoters would have known that directly. Danny Garcia was looking just as lost as anybody else could have been looking like, whoa, what do y'all mean this man is 15 pounds over? Your opponent came in on, you said that you blaming the commission, but you came in 15 pounds over. So who's the real fault here? Your opponent came in on weight and on schedule.
I want y'all to understand how bad 15 pounds is.
Seven,
So
six, 5, 6, 7 pounds.
if
All
you
right,
come in 6 or 7 pounds over, that's bad. But it ain't that bad.
correct.
It's still bad
You had a
because
bad, you had a
you're
bad weight cut.
you're
Six, seven
limited
pounds. You had a bad weight cut.
you're limited in the things you could try to do in order to make weight. You've seen fighters strip down naked. You've seen fighters cut hair. You've seen fighters cut beard. You've seen
I've
fighters
seen everything get cut,
and
dog.
do different things that people don't know about. If
I've
you go,
seen.
you come in 15 pounds, you just going back to the locker, going back to your hotel room or something, dog. Cause like you not.
Then he showed up on the scale smiling. You knew you was off. You knew it. Like that boy knew he was off, man.
And
That was crazy.
he be
He
on
knew he
Twitter
was off.
tough, like all the time. He be on Twitter. He ain't been on.
Yeah, he posted that. He posted that story on Instagram and said, "I apologize to the New Jersey Commission and my fans." I bet you do. Because my thing was, at first I was like 15 pounds over. That was a choice. I was talking to somebody on Twitter. They was like, "Man, what is that?" I said, "Bro, that was a choice." I always tell people as it relates to things that it comes to fighting, a lot of this stuff is a choice more than what people want to think. There is no conspiracy about a lot of this stuff. It is a choice. Okay. Um, he knew he was overweight when he stepped on it, when he woke up that morning. He
he
looked at his
he
body
knew
that
weeks
morning.
before.
He did. He looked at his body that
Like
morning and said, "Yeah, I ain't gonna do it today."
you know better than me. You could go find you could go find Spence. You could go find Crawford. Hell, you can go find somebody that's getting out the game like Danny Garcia right now and say, "How much do you weigh?" I guarantee you they'll be
Oh, they'll tell you exactly where they at.
within 3 to 4 pounds,
Hmm.
if not dead on. Like
Yeah.
fighters, they know. Like the ones that be surprised, like if they miss weight by like half a pound, they like, oh,
Oh,
like because that might be a scale calibration
that
issue.
could be a skill calibration. Let me go try to pee real quick. Let me go try to drop it off real quick or something. Okay,
Mm.
let's get that. Half a pound, that is not as much as people really think unless you already dead.
Now
Like
seen
David
boy,
Lemieux was a couple years ago, passed out on the
you,
scale.
you seen boys cut their ponytail off and get that out the way.
And next thing you know, yeah, for real, I've seen that many a times. How much they said I was? Point 0.4? Oh, he under point 0.3 now. Let's go, y'all. All right, let's go. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, let's. I'm glad he finally came back out, and let's not play in the face of commissions or people just in fans in general, as we're trying to get people into boxing. The fighters are trying to play the social media game with people, and I hate it. And it really pisses me off because, bro, it's okay to tell the truth. You're a fighter. Explain to people how things go. You messed up, and that's okay. You
Mm-hmm.
messed up. You're young enough. Somebody will forget this later down. It ain't like you fighting for a title. They'll forget this later down the line and say nobody's gonna say, "Remember when he was 8-0 and he missed it by 15 pounds?" Bro, we not gonna care about that time. You're gonna be 25, 30-0. Ain't nobody gonna care no more.
People hardly remember when Shakur blew weight. It wasn't by no 15 though. But
It wasn't. It was only by like 1 to 2 pounds, brother. It was only about 1 or 2 pounds. That's
mm-hmm.
it. That was his
Benavidez
last. I think that was his last fight at
blew weight.
130. If that right, that was his last fight at 130, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Um, People like to forget when Floyd for fighting Marquez. He's supposed to fight him at 144, and Floyd showed up 148. Marquez, who was also a smaller man than Floyd too. That's another story within itself. But nonetheless, uh, yeah, I'm glad they didn't play in the face. I'm glad he didn't do too much playing too much longer. So, um, good fights tonight though, for sure. Definitely gonna be covering, and I think I'll just get some of the guys who are going to be in media role in our interview. We'll talk about the fights in between, like some of the round stuff like that. So I'll have a lot of good footage for everybody. And
It'll be
then,
a lot.
yeah, then after the fights, I'll see if you're still awake, and then we'll do this all over again and see a quick little recap and all that, man. So
Wait, I don't remember who did I go see when I was there? It was Valdez and
you saw Valdez and somebody. Oh man, you did come in.
he won. I don't even remember.
I'm trying to think.
I had a
I
few
can't remember
drinks
what fight that was.
after.
I'm gonna have to pull it up. Let me pull that up real quick and see what it is, man. I'm gonna have to pull that up. Valdez. I have to see who it was. You did come here. I forgot all about that. Y'all came and I was sick. It was all of y'all too. Man. I was like, man, everybody went to that fight. I was like, well, and y'all had amazing seats. But I was hating. Oh, I was hating.
It was a live environment. Like
If you have no haters, I have died. It was in Tucson. Y'all came to Tucson. That was Country Sal fight. That was Robinson, Tucson. Yeah. In Tucson, Arizona. Yeah. I was hating. Yeah, I was big hating. Yeah, if you have no haters, I have died. I want you to know. But as long as I'm alive, you have one hater. Just want
man,
you to know. Yeah. Um, let's see. We ain't got really too much. Turkey in the big card. We'll cover that later down the line. A huge February 22nd playing card. We'll say playing because you never know what happens from now to February 22nd. But right now, it's looking like one of the greatest cards we have seen in the last 20 years. I
yeah, we
think that
need to
was,
start a GoFundMe so we could go.
yeah, man, I do need to start a GoFundMe. We do need to start a GoFundMe so we can get over there for that one. I ain't gonna lie. I think I need to go. That looks crazy. That card is nasty work, bro. That
Mm-hmm.
is what you call all day boxing, bro. All day boxing.
Man, the only why am I drawing a blank?
Cal Smith and Buatsi is the only downside of that card. That's pretty much it.
Not well. I forgot. I thought Callum retired. Uh, uh, who's the potential?
The
This
heavyweight,
no, this boxing, so it's a potential for uh a mishap. Virgil. I'm drawing the
that's
blank.
right. Madrimov. That's right.
Yes,
Virgil and Madrimov that could be a big mishap.
yeah, he got to fight. He got to fight next month.
Yeah, bro, this month. Both her fights in on the undercard in Lucy in
Mm,
Fury. This could
So
be
if he get cut or
if
something,
that's it. Unless he say, I don't care if I was cut, we back in the ring. Even if he wins. My thing
mm,
is, I respect the balls on a man like that. Or a fighter like that. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and schedule this fight with you too. I'm gonna whoop you and I'm gonna come back and fight you too. That's what Roy Jones used to do. He used to get on there, beat people. I'm gonna beat him, and I'm gonna go fight Virgil Hill, and then I'm gonna knock him out too. And guess what?
mm, good times. We don't get that no more.
So we'll go through that, break down that card a little bit later, and shoot, man, we'll just catch back up. Uh-oh.
We freezing.
Yeah, it's telling me I'm reconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh well. Either way, appreciate it, my boy. I'll catch up with you later. Uh-oh. You back? Oh, nope.